Dear brothers and sisters, in 2023, an unpublished letter by Sister Lucia dos Santos, the visionary of Fatima, addressed to Pope Paul VI, came to light. In this letter, cited by the journalist Saverio Gaeta, Sister Lucia cautiously admits that not everything has been said about the message of Fatima. Many believed that everything had already been revealed, that the Third Secret of Fatima had been made public in its entirety in the year 2000, when St. John Paul II authorized the publication of the text. And yet, in this never-before-published letter, written by Sister Lucia herself to Pope Paul VI, another story seems to emerge. A story that reopens a mystery and forces us to ask, have we really understood everything that Our Lady of Fatima wanted to tell us? Between May 13th and October 13th, 1917, 3 shepherd children, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, received 6 apparitions of the Virgin Mary. Mary invited them to pray, to do penance, and to consecrate Russia to her Immaculate Heart. Then she entrusted them with 3 secrets. The first 2 were revealed in the past century, but the third was kept in silence, sealed in an envelope and handed to the Pope. The text was finally published in June 2000. It spoke of a bishop dressed in white who walked through a ruined city and fell under gunfire. The Church interpreted this vision as a symbol of the sufferings of the 20th century, culminating in the assassination attempt on John Paul II. But from that moment on, many began to wonder, could the mystery of Fatima really be reduced to one symbolic vision? Where was the part that spoke of the end times or of the Church's spiritual crisis, something Sister Lucia was said to have hinted at? For decades, Sister Lucia spoke no more. She remained silent, cloistered in the Carmelite convent of Coimbra, Portugal. She wrote rarely and only to those close to her spiritually. But today we know that one of her most important letters was addressed to Pope Paul VI, sometime in the mid-1970s. That letter was made public only in 2023, thanks to the work of Saverio Gaeta, a Catholic journalist and one of the foremost experts on Fatima. In his book, The Secrets of Sister Lucia, Fatima, the Truth Never Told, Gaeta quotes Lucia's handwritten words. And those words, once read, leave no one indifferent. Here is the passage that has shocked readers around the world.
One of the questions I was recently asked was whether the whole message had already been delivered to the Church. I replied yes. I should have said, as for the facts, yes. But as for the perspective and particular aspects, no. However, I did not give that answer, so as not to give rise to further questions to which it would not be appropriate to respond.
In these few lines, an abyss opens. Sister Lucia confirms that the Church knows the facts of the message, the vision, and the described events. But she adds something that changes everything. There are perspectives and particular aspects that have not been revealed. What did she mean? Perhaps that the vision was not yet fully fulfilled, that it referred not only to the past, but also to the future of the Church. Sister Lucia does not answer directly. She chooses silence. She writes, "It would not be appropriate to respond." A phrase that weighs like a stone because it suggests something too great or too painful to be said openly. In 2010, during a pilgrimage to Fatima, Pope Benedict XVI spoke words that now seem to echo Sister Lucia's hidden meaning. He said, "It would be a mistake to think that the prophetic mission of Fatima is concluded." The German Pope explained that the prophecy of Fatima does not concern only the past, but also the future, and that the sufferings of the Church come not only from external enemies, but also from sin within the Church itself. It was as if Benedict, with great prudence, was touching upon that perspective left unsaid by Sister Lucia. A Church called to purification, passing through suffering and confusion. Today, as we look at what is happening in the world, wars, persecutions, spiritual crises, and evil spreading even within sacred institutions, Many faithful ask whether we are now living through the part of the message that has not yet been understood. When Our Lady appeared in 1917, she said, "Russia will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions against the Church. The good will be martyred, the Holy Father will have much to suffer, and various nations will be annihilated." It is hard not to feel that these words now echo with renewed power. The consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart, repeated by Pope Francis in 2022, brought to mind for millions of believers the prophecy of Fatima as a key to understanding modern times. And in this context, Sister Lucia's letter appears as a prophetic voice, not adding new secrets but revealing that the mystery is not over, that there is still something to be understood, to be lived, to be fulfilled. But then, what was it that Sister Lucia did not want to say openly? Some believe she referred to a spiritual dimension of the secret, the drama of apostasy, the progressive abandonment of God by humanity. Others think she was referring to future events, perhaps a global conflict or a great tribulation for the Church. Yet everyone agrees on one thing: Sister Lucia did not lie. Her words were measured, never theatrical, and always obedient to the Church. If she wrote, "Not everything has been said," she did so for a reason. Perhaps because she knew that some truths must mature over time and that God reveals them only when the world is ready to listen. Sister Lucia was not a visionary seeking attention. She was a simple, humble woman who spent nearly her entire life in silence and prayer. When asked about the future, she responded with words of faith, not fear, recalling what the Virgin had told her. "In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph." And perhaps that is the most important point of all. It does not matter whether there exists an unspoken aspect or a hidden perspective. The message of Fatima is not a threat. It is a promise of mercy. Many believe Fatima to be an apocalyptic prophecy, but the Virgin did not come to frighten us. She came to warn us, to save us. She said to the 3 children, "Pray, pray very much, and make sacrifices for sinners, for many souls go to hell because there is no one to pray and make sacrifices for them." The secret, then, is not a code to decipher, but a call to conversion. Her pierced heart is an invitation to return to God before it is too late. Sister Lucia understood that. She knew the most important part was not the visions, but humanity's response. That is why, in her letter, she makes no accusations and launches no fiery prophecies, but speaks with discretion. It would not be appropriate to respond, as if to say, "The rest you must understand yourselves through prayer and with your heart." It is important to remember, the Church has always stated that the Third Secret of Fatima was fully published in 2000. Even Pope Benedict XVI in 2016 categorically denied that there were any hidden parts. Thus, the mystery emerging from the letter is not a new, unreleased text, but a new light on the meaning of what we already have. It is as if Sister Lucia wished to say, "You already know everything you need to know, but you have not yet understood all that God wanted to tell you." We live in a time when the words of Fatima seem more relevant than ever. The world is full of noise, war, and deception. Faith is fragile, love has grown cold, and humanity feels master of creation, yet slave to sin. Amid all this, the voice of the Virgin returns to say, "Convert. Pray. Entrust yourselves to the Immaculate Heart." And that phrase from Sister Lucia, "As for the facts, yes, but as for the perspective, no," seems to whisper to each of us, it is not over. The story is not finished. The message of Fatima continues, not as a prophecy of doom, but as an invitation to hope. Sister Lucia died in 2005, but her voice still speaks. Today, as the world seems to lose its way, her words return as a compass. Not everything has been said, and heaven has not yet finished speaking to our hearts. Every time we pray the rosary, every time we offer a prayer for peace, we are responding to that part of the message that still lives. Fatima is not just a secret of the past, it is a sign for our present, a sign that tells us not to believe that evil will have the final word. And perhaps that prudent silence of Sister Lucia, that it would not be appropriate to respond, was her gentle way of saying, "The rest you will see with your own eyes. And when it happens, remember that Mary warned you, not to frighten you, but to save you." If you believe that the message of Fatima still speaks to our times, share this video. Write in the comments what you think Sister Lucia meant by those mysterious words. And remember, not everything has been said, because God continues to speak today in the silence of the heart. May the Immaculate Heart of Mary protect us and lead us to peace.